Hi, I'm Chad Mortensen. So last night, President Russell M. Nelson, the 17th president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, passed away in Salt Lake City, Utah, in his apartment just to the east of where the church office building is located. And so I've been giving tours at the Salt Lake City Cemetery for almost 15 years now. So I wanted to come up here and show you where he's going to be buried. I already know that he's going to be buried there because his first wife, Dancel, is buried there. And it looks as though there is a plot for Wendy, his current wife, and then there's also a spot for President Russell M. Nelson. So if you'll come with me, I'll take you into the Salt Lake City Cemetery. We'll go through kind of the main entrance. I'll take you up there, and then I'll kind of talk to you at the headstone for a while, a little bit about where the rock came from, and a little bit about Russell M. Nelson, 17th president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, also known as the Mormons. So come with me. So I'm taking you up N Street right now. That's 3rd Avenue. We're up in the avenues of Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm going to take you right through the main gate. We're going to pass through right past a lot of the graves that I do on my tours. A lot of interesting stories that follow these places. I don't normally enter from this entrance. This is the main entrance at the southwest corner of the cemetery. I'm usually up in other parts of the cemetery, but for purposes of showing you where he's buried, this is probably the easiest way to do it. So let's take you up through here and take you around this corner. So I'm heading east right now. And we're going to go around this corner. A lot of famous people buried in that corner right now. I plan on doing kind of a video series over the next little while, maybe even the next few years or so, focusing on the majority of these graves around here. But we're heading up the road here. Now we're heading north from the main gate. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit to make it a little bit less shaky. Headed up Main Street of the cemetery right now. I will mention a couple graves as we go on our way. There's a marker right there. That large obelisk is marking, it's right next to the grave of Joseph F. Smith, the 6th president of the church. Those of you who like Porter Rockwell, who's featured on my t-shirt, he is buried over there. That's going to be a video for another day. He's back over there. Let's keep heading north up Main Street. We're going to go to Russell Marion Nelson's grave. So come with me. We're at about 310 north right now. You're going to come to this split off with kind of a steep hill. There are 2 presidents of the church buried up here. Hopefully this car will stop for me and let me go. I don't think either one of us have a stop sign, but that's David O. McKay right there, that large kind of granite slab. And then President Gordon B. Hinckley right behind him. His stone is taken from about the same place where the stone from President Russell M. Nelson's grave was taken from. I'll talk about that in a minute. But you want to head up this steep hill. Let's keep heading we're heading kind of northeast right now. For those of you who remember Larry Miller, owner of the Jazz, that was his house way up on the hill there. I guess I'll point to it with my finger. You can kind of see it right there. It's right in the middle of the frame. I'm going to zoom back out. Let's keep heading up here. And go around this roadway. So you're going to get to Uinta Avenue. Uinta Avenue right there. And then head west on Uinta Avenue. That's going to take you over to where Russell M. Nelson is going to be buried. Likely later this week, actually. You can see his stone already. But here it is. That's downtown Salt Lake City right there. It's kind of a landmark. That's Russell M. Nelson's headstone right there. That's kind of the larger marker. You can see Dansel's headstone on the ground already. There's just going to be a space for him and for Wendy as well. So we'll get out and talk about it. Okay, I'll take you to what will be the final resting place of Russell Marion Nelson. His sister Enid is already buried here. There's going to be, it looks like there are 2 more plots here, one for Wendy and one for President Nelson. And then his first wife, Dancel, is buried there. So this is what the grave marker looks like. Let's go around and check out the back. Talks about where they got the stone from. This monument was crafted of stone from the Salt Lake Temple 2020 renovation. Beautiful view up here. This will be a very nice final resting place for President Nelson. So if you go to President Gordon B. Hinckley's and Thomas S. Spencer Monson's grave, their markers are very much like these, with spots for two smaller markers for each person. And so this is where it is. I'll kind of set up on the hillside with this in the background and talk about it a little bit. Okay, so here we are. Here's the grave marker behind me. This is where President Nelson is going to be buried later this week. His first wife, Dancel, passed away in 2005. And then he married Wendy Nelson. And she is, it looks to be, there's a plot here for her as well. So she's going to be buried here also. As I mentioned on the back of the stone here, it mentions that the stone was taken from the granite quarry during the renovation of the Salt Lake Temple in 2020. If you go to President Gordon B. Hinckley's grave and President Thomas S. Monson, the stone from their graves were also taken from that same quarry, kind of in the same area. So President Nelson is likely to be succeeded by Dallin H. Oakes, who is the first counselor in the first presidency and president of the Quorum of the 12.
Russell Marion Nelson lived to be 101 years old. He became the longest living president in the history of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. He passed away on Saturday, September 27th, 2025, shortly after 10 p.m. in Salt Lake City, Utah. As I've brought people to this place over the last several years, I knew this day would come. A renowned heart surgeon who performed the first open heart surgery in Utah in 1955, Russell M. Nelson became president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints on January 14th, 2018, less than 2 weeks after the passing of Thomas Spencer Monson, the church's 16th president. President Nelson will be missed. It's my hopes that you'll visit this place for years to come, and that you'll remember this great man and pay your respects.